and silver, another day in Sable. From their portraits, your great-grandmothers look down at you, hands pressed to their laps, mouths blackened by the photographer's light. They speak through paralysis. It is a sort of calling. Leaving cities by train, I open books. They fly out windows. I will divest myself of you. I will divest myself of my body. It is a dress and may be taken off. I press its openings, listen to its murmurs. I decide to take up the history of italics. Living on almonds only, I will get to the bottom of the Crimean War. In my childhood of you, you live in a red room. Beyond the door, a woman walks up and down. A man upstairs yells for quiet. The man's head aches. His book will never be finished. His book belongs in the ground. Nearby, I sit in a waiting room. Trains arrive and depart. I try to pay for tickets. The man behind the grill shrugs. He picks up a newspaper. Timetables shuffle numbers and cities. We meet on thresholds. When we build a room, there is no roof. The sky passes overhead. Your mother chides us. Queen chess piece, she walks the earth. In 2 steps, her feet displace oceans. You try to keep yourself a secret. She will not know you. Still, you will her into a home, though she gives a touch, not a hand, a word, not a mouth. This poem is called The Blocked Man. In the dollhouse town, in the toy box town, your father keeps you between hawk and buzzard. He is larger than continents. His hands cover whole countries. You live on slivers of coastline. Oceans wet your walls. He would have you live on water gruel, on sedge, plant without flower. He would have your room a dust cold, and you, the mudlark dustman, stark staring man, old draggle-tail. He puts the nix on the nixie, stick in his side, stick for a leg. He would snuff you with his house, his smiling eye, his blue face, his archives of you, full of papers you shuffle from corner to corner, trying to build a house from a room. At table, he plays statesman. His voice makes light fixtures sway. He would consign you to study sawdust. In his officialdom, you play steward, who marries the milliner. He can procure her for a price. Still, from windows you watch girls pass in the streets. Seen in profile, as though cut from black paper, their insides are laceworks. Your mother sits, white truffle in ruffs of stiff paper. Dust blows up from streets, taps windows. Apples in a bowl, bro, hours older. One day, you will flood his ledger with ink, where he keeps his accounts of you, where he keeps you in the red. You will flee his archives and inventories. You will wake from the house that would fall on your head. The chorus girl's room. The chorus girl wakes to her jack straw room. 4 stories down, women pass in the streets. Mannequins stand in shop windows. Nothing marks their cellulose bodies. With a little money, how women's voices swell. The chorus girls, too. A little money furnishes her room with wardrobe, mantle, crown moldings, sprouting pomegranates, better fruit than she'll see in a year. She imagines numbers strewn across her walls, figures representing rent, coat, shoes. Headlights of passing cars light up decimal points and zeros. Within each picture frame there is a mirror. Mirrors that see something different every day. Oh, my one, paint your lips, take the notes in your pocket, and buy the dress. Here she sees the sofa's plush worn thin by hand, searching for something to pawn. Here, the fringe on a pillow is picked apart, the bottoms fallen out of the black market. Stacking her letters and papers against her red walls, she tries to build a white room. At dinner, the man tells her, "I'm sure I can ease your loneliness for a price." Not for nothing, his fine hands and arm through hers. Outside, the sun makes a sound. It jangles off every surface. The street comes up to meet them, and the city takes itself apart, stone by stone. My addressee. You tell me I cough because I am trying to rid myself of something, an object terrible to me. You tell and I tell. And I see you want not just the book, but the tree to nail a plaque to its trunk to bear your name. I too have a book. I tell of my father's friend who kisses me. They tell me he is handsome. They lie. He is ancient. He smells of epochs. I tell of my mother who does not move, but nests in skirts on sofas. Unknowable, she is known for the coils of her hair, an emblem of her toil-free life. But who can know the labor of boredom, the labor required to be nothing, to have nothing asked of you, to be set at naught? Of my father, he is beyond the self-made man, not sprung from his father's head, but sprung from his own, made all through with the Congo's rubber where he has made his killing. On the street with his crook, he is three-pronged, he is one to avoid. My parents appear together in photographs only. See my mother's hands pressed to her lap. She would like to leap out of time, but wastes her cunning extracting goods from my father, seen here, effaced by his hat and coat. Looking at my father's hands, his fingertips rest atop a pedestal. I feel my arms grow long to touch the walls, but the room explains nothing. I am refused and so will refuse first. I can see those considered well do not know the truth. Not knowing allows them to move. I envy them. I envy their ears stuffed up with gauze. They cannot see that with shut mouth I tell everything. With no head, no arms, I am winged. I will read the title piece, which contains the title, as the very last line. My one. I no longer know how to address you. I go hand to hand, white river to blue. Living under your eye, my ear mistakes itself for mouth. I thought I could speak by listening. Then no words would end. I keep looking for your house, wanting it to know me. Across parks, purple and green, you know my kneecap, my eye. I can't see myself till you see me. I grow thinner, thin, thinking you will know me better, though less and less of me stands. You speak and don't speak. I accept you half known, half learned. God goes between your pages. God steps away. The world begins. I tell you, his absence makes trees sway. Their leaves blow white over green. But you prefer God's kingdom a cauldron, man an insect, God's pity grace. So we go office to office. Students throw themselves from the library's 10th floor. Wrought iron railings can't stop them. I can count on you to know this. It is Sunday. Where is your house, your guests? Your hand holds my eye. My room, and me there, with no more masters, no more manuscripts. So I will read two more. Does that sound about right, guys? For time? Okay, cool. At the Metropolitan. We watch girl students paint, woman with parrot. They paint the malarial cast of her skin and dress. The woman does not speak. The parrot sits and peers. This is not our house, though mother, maid, and wife make appearances, though I write sweet home, tomorrow, and so long in vestibules. Outside the sidewalk goes, under us newspapers unfold. Evidence of childhood illness clings to your brow and waist. I imagine you caught in St. Vitus dance fits. Your mother performed the tarantella, dom dancer, and rose and white. Your father ticked away, metronome in the attic. You will excuse my grammatical lapses, faulty grasp of artwork, its philosophies, cabinets, curiosities. You will overlook my inability to see into paintings. Years I lived on your gaze. You have seen me, now I can't come back. Still I dream ways back to my body. Here are the instructions on how to love me. Here are the instruments. We don't know when, only that it will happen. This world of ours going down around us. If you meet me, wear a newspaper hat, and I will be armed with open book, with futures of me waking and named. Penultimate and then the ultimate final one. When you left America. When you left America, I did the usual thing. Wished for convalescence, days dwindled to luxuries of whiteness. Then I would get well, my body flattened on balconies of winter sun. Though you write only, I wish you to see my dress darken my spine. It is possible when I am seated, leaning forward, and you stand behind. To this end, please wear a red jacket, come with lungfuls of sky and a deck of cards. If you return, you may find me sorting forbidden words, darkling, juniper, apothecary, churchyard. You may find me broom in hand, dotty aunt living on pantry bounty, tracing blue and white figures on china plates where lovers turn to birds. Sometimes bridal and ragpicker brown, I sew veils for antique effect. Today I see you in stereoscope flickers only, here a man walking, here riding a bike. I am in the meantime while and between. You write me about sirens over Telegraph Hill, dresses pressed to your hands. You visit panoramas, waxworks, indoor cities, silent and aquarium. If you come, I will meet you hatless, 3 stories down where women push baby carriages. I will meet you on avenues dark with trees, and our words will pass into voice. And the last one, poet's letter to her mother. I write with your furs bundled around me. I write and know this is performance, without podium or microphone. You will not have seen it, but they put me up in hotels. I glide out each evening in different dresses, playing all the parts, princess to father's king, button to husband's boots. In op-art dresses, I make eyes shudder. I am naked underneath. You will not have read my letters from Europe. I am baffled by Paris and write, I wish I knew more of history. In Zurich, I clutch letterless mailboxes. In Venice, I write my husband, I am too lonely to sleep and hang out windows. I imagine him looking at maps where I go, his fingers trace. I travel, a spinster's Europe, spending abroad what belongs to the marriage bed. I am sightseer only. Words fade off aerograms. Mother, you will not have read my poem about my daughter's body. Now she is something to eat, each finger white flour. She is cake. I want to cover her mouth. So we go blanket to blanket, sob to sob, my little garden on wedding plates. I go out to meet my lover. Now my lover is my typewriter. I rouge my cheeks with wet red ribbons. I want to be daughter to my daughter. I am jealous of her horses, the bit in the mouth, the foaming flanks. I stuff my husband into father shapes. I place fingers in boxes. Mother, I drink from cups you used to down 2 whiskeys before dinner. Outside, winds toss dog roses. I have bitten their rose hips. Mother, I have wanted inside you to meet where you begin. I toast your portrait, lady of candy houses. I write with your furs bundled around me. I write and know this is performance.